So I was watching a recent reel by the O Family Adventures, the Orgias family. They're on YouTube. They're a digital nomad family and they're traveling the world. They've done Latin America, they've done Europe and all of that. And in their recent reel, they were talking about how, some people would ask why they are not exploring the African continent. So she was giving an explanation about why her family hasn't really done that yet. Like they really, really want to do it, but it's not really easy to navigate the continent and it's not cheap. So one, please don't dictate other people's choices. And two, you really have to go with what's important for you. I've done several videos on why Cameroon and why Cote d'Ivoire were two destinations that were important for us, but these might not be your destinations of choice. If you want to choose Latin America, if you want to choose Europe, if you want to choose Asia, it's 100% fine. So today I wanted to give you a few examples of how to prioritize your choices and how to prioritize your destinations based on those choices. So obviously a lot of people want ease of travel. A lot of people want to go to a destination where they can hop around to different countries. So that's why Europe is very popular for that, because if you have a Schengen visa, then you can hop around in different countries. They're very close to each other. Transportation is really easy. It's very affordable. So it is a destination of choice, okay? So that makes sense. While some other people are not that interested in country hopping, but they want to move abroad because they want to settle to a different destination. For example, for us, moving to Cameroon or to Cote d'Ivoire is really to settle there, and it's not really to be able to be in a strategic region where we can country hop. Another criteria that is very important for a lot of people is the path to residency and to citizenship. So obviously you have destinations like Mexico or Portugal that have those paths available for US citizens. So it's pretty straightforward. There are different requirements, which is not the case in most countries. Number three, a lot of people who are particularly interested in buying land will be interested in moving to Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa in general. Some countries will require that you buy land with a local, but others don't. So you are free to buy as much land as you want. So for a lot of people who you see online on YouTube who have moved to sub-Saharan Africa, most of them will show you that they have bought land or they have done some developments and things like that. So that is really, really important for most of these families. In addition to that, for a lot of people moving to Africa specifically, is really about connecting to the motherland, connecting to home. Even if you've never been there, if you feel a sense of home, of connection with your ancestors, and you feel like, okay, this is where I feel at home. And so that's why there's this pull to go back to Africa and settle there. For me personally, yes, there is that pull, but also because, moving to a different country that is not technically your country, it's like being a foreigner in another country. And to be honest, the same problems or the same things that you're trying to get away from might also find you in that destination. Like you're going to be another foreigner in another land. Sure, there's racism everywhere and there are some degrees of racism, if you want to say it that way. But at the same time, to me personally, I would rather be a foreigner where I don't stand out than a foreigner where I stand out because of the color of my skin. Because people know right away that I'm not from there. But if you are in sub-Saharan Africa, people won't know unless they either approach you or maybe you're dressed a different way. So it's not always that obvious. Obviously, as a business owner, I want to go to a place where I can start businesses on the ground. So for a lot of business-minded people, going to a country where you'll be able to contribute to development, choosing an African country might be a priority because of the existing needs and all the way you can contribute to development. So I'm not saying that somebody moving to Europe is not interested in businesses, it's just that the dimension is just a little different. Obviously, it can be logistically easier to move to a developing nation versus an emerging nation. So moving to Africa might be a little more rocky than moving to Europe, and that's just how it is. Certain procedures might be a lot easier in Europe than it might be in Africa, but at the same time, in Africa, you can get a lot of things done faster because of that informal network that you might not have in Europe. And last but certainly not least, this is a main motivator for most people, it's the money and how cheap or expensive it is to move to your destination. So just starting with a plane ticket, it is cheaper to go to Mexico and back in case of an emergency than it is to move to Ghana and come back to the US in case of an emergency, just based on airfare, okay? And this applies a lot in Latin America as well as in Asia and many parts of Africa as well. So the cost of living can be a lot cheaper than the cost of living here in the US. But you also have to pay attention to certain anomalies. Like a lot of cities in Africa can be a lot more expensive than some cities here in the US. So it really depends on your lifestyle. Overall, if you're moving to Western Europe, it's going to be comparable to the US. If you're moving to Latin America, South America, and Africa, is usually going to be a lot cheaper than being here in the US. And also if you're moving with a family or if you're moving by yourself, this cost can go up or can go down as well. So it's really a matter of priority. What is really important for you? I shared what our priorities were as a family, but yours will be totally different than mine, and that's totally fine. At the end of the day, you want to be able to clearly know what's important for you and to go for those choices unapologetically. You don't have to justify it. You don't owe it to anybody to really explain why you want to move to this country just because other people don't understand it or they wouldn't make that same choice, okay? So make a decision and prepare for that move. So let me know in the comments what your destination is. Where are you planning on moving in 2024 or 2025? Let me know what your time frame is as well. Let me know all of that in the comments. I'll come back and I'll answer your questions if you have those as well. Just let me know in the comments. As always, if you like this video, give it a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss any other videos where I share our progress as we are preparing to move abroad. Until next time, bye.